Hello and welcome to Express News. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. My name is Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with the top story. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar held talks with visiting German Foreign Minister Johann David Wadephul in New Delhi. Both held in-depth discussions on various dimensions of bilateral cooperation. In a press conference, Minister Jaishankar also appreciated Germany's strong advocacy for closer India-EU ties and proactive push in concluding the FTA. German Foreign Minister Johann David Wadephul said that his country strongly supports India's free trade agreement with the European Union and hopes that talks will conclude before the end of this year. Earlier, India's Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal co-chaired a meeting with the business delegations from India and Germany along with Germany's Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul. Singapore's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong is on a 3-day visit to India. On Wednesday, Wong paid floral tributes to Mahatma Gandhi at Rajghat. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman met Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong in New Delhi on Tuesday. The discussion centered on enhancing cooperation in critical areas. This is Prime Minister Wong's first visit to India in his capacity as Singapore's Prime Minister. He will hold talks with Prime Minister Modi on Thursday. President Draupadi Murmu attended the 10th convocation of Central University of Tamil Nadu in Thiruvarur on Wednesday. She awarded gold medals and degrees to students. Praising the university's role in rural education, the President encouraged stronger industry collaboration to harness science and technology for the greater good. Prime Minister Modi attended the second day of 4th edition of Semicon India in New Delhi on Wednesday. The Prime Minister inaugurated the conference on Tuesday. PM Modi visited the exhibition at Semicon India 2025 and spoke to various participants. The initiative focused on advancing a robust, resilient and sustainable semiconductor ecosystem in India. PM Modi shared an article written by Minister of Electronics and Information Technology Ashwini Vaishnav. In the article Shaping the Future Chip by Chip, Minister Vaishnav highlighted India's transformative semiconductor journey. The Prime Minister of Bhutan, Shering Topgay, along with other officials, will be on a visit to India for the consecration ceremony of Royal Bhutan Temple at Rajgir in Bihar on Thursday. The 56th GST Council meeting led by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman began in New Delhi on Wednesday. The meet aims to discuss the revisions of tax slabs. Union Home Minister Amit Shah met and felicitated the soldiers of Central Reserve Police Force, Chhattisgarh Police, DRG and Cobra Battalion who successfully carried out Operation Black Forest on Kareguttalu Hill. Union Minister Nitin Gadkari chaired a consultation workshop on Wednesday in Delhi along with other officials on innovative policy interventions for sustainable national highway development around urban areas. The 14th edition of India-Thailand Joint Military Exercise Maitri 14 commenced with a grand opening ceremony at Joint Training Node in Meghalaya. Soldiers from the 11th Airborne Division of United States and Indian Armies officially opened Exercise Yuddha Abhyas 2025 during a ceremony at Fort Wainwright in Alaska on Tuesday. Indian Naval Stealth Frigate INS Trikan is deployed at the Mediterranean Sea at Alexandria in Egypt to participate in Exercise Bright Star. Bright Star 2025 is a multilateral US Central Command exercise across the air, land and sea domains. The ships of the first training squadron of the Indian Navy reached Port Victoria, Seychelles on Tuesday. The arrival at port was marked with a ceremonial welcome by Seychelles Defence Force Band. Indian equity indices ended on a strong note on Wednesday with Nifty 50 closing at 24,715.05 points, 0.55% higher. At close, the Sensex was up 409.83 points at 80,567.71. Rupee closed 9 paise stronger at 88.07 against the US dollar. Gold futures maturing on October 3 were priced at 1,06,100 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Ahead of the festive season in Nepal, the gold price has reached its all-time high after added burden of 2% luxury tax on gold jewellery. Silver futures for September 5 maturity stood at 1,22,840 rupees per kg on the MCX. Brent crude was down by 1.65% at $68 a barrel. ChatGPT's parent company OpenAI said that it plans to launch parental controls for its popular AI assistant within the next month. A US judge ruled on Tuesday that the big tech won't have to sell its Chrome browser but ordered Google to share data with rivals to open up competition in online search. Singapore police have ordered Meta to implement anti-scam measures against advertisements, accounts, profiles and business pages impersonating key government office holders on its social media network Facebook to combat scams. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Denmark on Wednesday to participate in a meeting with Nordic and Baltic leaders hosted by Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. Ahead of the meet, Zelensky said that he will discuss pressure on Russia at the Ukraine Nordic and Baltic State Summit in Denmark. French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer will co-host Thursday's virtual meeting of leaders of mainly European allies who have been working on security guarantees for Ukraine. An International Monetary Fund mission has begun work in Ukraine as Kiev scrambles to plug a widening wartime budget gap for next year. Russia launched an overnight airstrike at 14 locations on Wednesday on Kiev. Ukraine's Air Force said it downed 430 of 502 drones and 21 of 24 missiles. China kicked off its largest ever military parade on Wednesday, marking 80 years since Japan's defeat at the end of World War II. Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un attended the parade. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday thanked North Korea's Kim Jong-un for helping Russia oust Ukrainian soldiers from the Kursk region, saying they fought heroically. US President Donald Trump has accused Chinese President Xi Jinping of conspiring against the US with the leaders of Russia and North Korea. A federal appeals court ruled that US President Donald Trump unlawfully invoked the Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelans he alleged were part of a criminal gang. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that he plans to send US National Guard troops to fight crime in Chicago, but declined to offer a specific timing of the deployment. As Trump threatened to send troops to more US cities, a federal judge blocked US President Donald Trump's administration from using the military to fight crime in California. The landmark trial of former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro is in its final phase. Bolsonaro's lawyers said the trial session ended as expected on Tuesday after the first day of the final stage of the trial. Brazil's President Lula da Silva said that he expects justice to be served as a trial against his predecessor on charges of plotting a coup is underway. In Pakistan, over a dozen people were killed in 3 attacks on Tuesday. Dozens were wounded in an explosion which took place in the parking lot of stadium in the provincial capital, Quetta. Another attack in Balochistan near the border with Iran claimed 5 lives on Tuesday, while 6 soldiers were killed after a suicide attack on their base in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. The leader of the Thailand's Bumjathai party said on Wednesday he had enough votes to become Prime Minister. Biggest opposition, the People's Party, said on Wednesday that it would back the Bumjathai to form the next government. After this, acting Prime Minister has moved to dissolve Parliament. Paetongtarn Shinawatra was hosted by Constitutional Court last week over her handling of a border row with Cambodia. Hundreds of women dressed in pink joined protests in Indonesia's capital on Wednesday's against lawmakers' perks and police brutality after a police vehicle hit and killed a motorcycle taxi driver last week. The UK government has moved to crack down on high caffeine energy drinks. From now, sales to anyone under 16 in England could be banned. Nepal has implemented a new rate for permits for the ascent to Mount Everest starting September 1st. The new rules also include other provisions like reduction in permit validity to 55 days. Alright, we are slipping into a very short break. On the other side, more stories. Keep watching Express News on DD India.
We're always on the move, to the market, to work, to meet our friends. But how often do we stop and think about, is there a cleaner, affordable and eco-friendly way to travel?
Since switching to this e-rickshaw, I feel so much better. Everything is easier with this battery-powered rickshaw.
Our research is focused on a less mature technology, which will be less costly, so it'll be more economically viable.
If you plant new saplings, they'll take 10 years to grow. When we replant the trees, we are also retaining the oxygen the trees provide and preserving greenery.
My dream would be to have a play street / parklet, so we could have the parklet for some adults and some refreshments, and then everyone could come and kids could be playing.
This week on Defence Dynamics, India's tank force takes on the drone challenge. How counter unmanned aerial systems are rewriting armoured warfare. A major milestone in Indian air power. Why the induction of Tejas Mark II matters. And on the robotics front, what is Bhairav's robotics Rakshak and why it could redefine battlefield autonomy. This Wednesday at 8 p.m. only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. The death toll soared past 1,400 people, with thousands more injured in the strong earthquake that hit Afghanistan on Monday. Rescuers battled to reach survivors stranded in remote regions of Afghan, while aid agencies deployed helicopters to airlift the injured to safety. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano erupted for the 32nd time since December, sending lava fountains high into the air. The lava first surged from the north vent of Halema Umayu crater, followed by eruptions from the south vent, signaling a striking escalation in volcanic activity. Torrential rain slashed Japan's Akita prefecture on causing rivers to overflow and flood rice fields in the Kita region. The Indian Met Department has issued orange alerts with moderate rain and thunderstorms in various states of northern and central India. Bhadarwah town in India's Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir has been experiencing continuous rainfall, causing landslides and flood-like situations in the region. India's Border Security Force has organized a medical camp where doctors and paramedics provided treatment and distributed medicines in Jammu. 44 civilians were airlifted by helicopter from the flood-hit village in Jammu's Akhnoor region as rescue operations continue amid rising water levels. A massive landslide struck Kunduni village of North Indian state of Himachal Pradesh on Wednesday, damaging 10 houses and affecting 22 families. The bridge connecting Old Manali to the main town is now completely underwater and twisted due to rising levels of Bias River. The North Indian state of Punjab was declared disaster-affected state as heavy rainfall continues for the third consecutive day. Rescue operations have successfully saved 19,597 lives so far in Punjab. However, the devastation to agriculture remains extensive in the region. Heavy rain slashed several parts of India's capital Delhi, causing waterlogging and traffic chaos. The Yamuna River breached danger levels, prompting evacuations from low-lying areas. Torrential rainfall has led to severe waterlogging in several areas of Madhya Pradesh. Floodwaters have entered residential homes, disrupting daily life and cutting off-road connectivity. Leandro Boschko and Micaela Garcia from Buenos Aires won the tango stage category at the World Tango Championship at Grand Rex Theatre. In Morocco's Tétouan, the traditional crafts fair is showcasing pottery, textiles and copperware and providing a platform for exchange and interaction between artisans and visitors. A fair in Morocco aims to support traditional industries and boost their presence in local and international markets as well as promote cultural tourism. Colombia's capital Bogota's first metro train arrived at the port of Cartagena, marking a historic moment for the Colombian capital after 83 years of waiting. The 6-car train is part of Line 1 of the city's long-awaited metro system. The project is set to begin operations in March 2028 with a total of 30 trains planned. In the Bulgarian village of Momchi Lovtsi, Chinese tourists are gathering to take part in festival honoring the region's famous yogurt, celebrated for its natural health benefits. Visitors enjoy folk performances by singers and bagpipers in traditional costumes, while local yogurt and cheese producers offer samples and sell products. In Japan's Aomori Sugaru Railway has launched its seasonal bell cricket train to mark the arrival of autumn. The bell cricket train carries cages of crickets to showcase children and passengers and offer views of golden rice paddies and autumn foliage. In Dakar, Senegal, the city's last bubble homes around mushroom-like houses are slowly disappearing. Locals hope to save the rare architectural heritage. New teaser poster of Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, an American mystery film written and directed by Rian Johnson, has been released. The movie is a standalone sequel to Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, and the third installment overall in the Knives Out film series. Independent filmmaker Mark Jenkins' new feature, The Rose of Nevada, showcased at Horizonte section of ongoing Venice Film Festival. French filmmaker Francois Ozon premiered his adaptation of the famous Albert Camus novel, The Stranger, at Venice Film Festival. American fashion magazine Vogue has named Chloe Moll as its new head of editorial content, taking over from Anna Wintour, who is stepping down after nearly 4 decades. Indian actor Anupam Kher is looking forward for the premiere of his film Calgary at upcoming Calgary International Film Festival, scheduled in last week of September in Canada. Humans in the Loop, the award-winning feature on an Adivasi woman working as an AI data labeler, starts screening on 5th September in Mumbai. American actress and singer Jane Krakowski will be seen headlining the Broadway hit comedy Oh Mary on October 14th. Hollywood studio Paramount is set to make a movie based on the wildly popular live-action Call of Duty video game. The first official teaser of Indian horror movie Haunted Ghost of the Past 3D has been released. Sports now, and the unbeaten Indian men's hockey team will face Korea in the opening Super Force clash at the Asia Cup in Rajgir, Bihar on Wednesday. In tennis, second seed Carlos Alcaraz cruised into the US Open semi-finals, thrashing Czech Jiří Leka in straight sets. Novak Djokovic reasserted his dominance over American Taylor Fritz with a 6-3, 7-5, 3-6, 6-4 victory on Tuesday to set up a US Open semi-final against Carlos Alcaraz. Reigning women's US Open champion Arina Sabalenka advanced to the semi-finals after Marketa Vondrousova pulled out of their last 8 clash with a knee injury. American Jessica Pegula reached her second straight US Open semi-final with a clinical win over Grand Slam champion Barbora Krejcikova. World number 1 Sabalenka will play 4th seed American Jessica Pegula in the last 4 Thursday in a rematch of last year's final. India's Yuki Bhamri and New Zealand's Michael Venus have advanced to the quarterfinals of the men's doubles at the US Open. Lionel Messi-led Argentina held an open training session as they prepared for their final World Cup qualifier against Venezuela. Portugal's Football Federation paid homage to late footballers Diogo Jota, André Silva and Jorge Costa. German midfielder Ilkay Gundogan has left the English club Manchester City to join the Turkish champions Galatasaray. The Brazilian football team held a training session in Rio de Janeiro as they began preparations for their final home World Cup qualifier against Chile. Aiden Markram and Keshav Maharaj propelled South Africa to a convincing 7-wicket victory over England in the first ODI at Leeds on Tuesday. Afghanistan sealed an emotional victory over Pakistan with a sublime performance from their spinners, squeezing Salman Agha's men out and triumphing by 18 runs. Ravichandran Ashwin could be all set to become the first high-profile Indian cricketer to feature in the upcoming season of Australia's Premier T20 League, Big Bash League. Uganda's half-marathon world record holder Jacob Kiplimo and double Olympic champion Joshua Cheptegei will miss this month's World Athletic Championships in Tokyo due to personal reasons. Alright, that's all we have in this edition of Express News. You stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.